we will get started with our first Horizon IndyCar Series pre-practice press conference, joined now by two members of Schmidt Peterson Motorsports, James Hinchcliffe, driving the number 5 Aero Electronics SPM Honda for the team, and Robert Wickens driving the number 6 Lucas Oil Honda for Schmidt Peterson Motorsports. A track that has some significant moments for both of you. Robert, we'll start with you. Obviously, last year was kind of your first taste of an IndyCar race weekend event. Didn't get to compete in the race, but did get your first sort of event weekend feel of an IndyCar. What do you remember from that experience, and looking back from it, how different is your perspective and motivation heading into this weekend?
Yeah, this is our 1-year anniversary of an IndyCar press conference. Pick good timing for a coffee.
Yeah, that machine is not quiet. You guys need to upgrade this up.
No, it's cool. I mean, to do it at a track like Road America is even more special. I mean, it's such a cool place. There's so much history. As a driver, I think it's a favorite for everybody. And, a big reason why I agreed to help out the team last year was because it was at Road America. Just because it's such a cool track to drive, and to drive an IndyCar on such a good track. It was too good of an opportunity to pass up. So now I'm a full-time guy, and hopefully we can get some good results this weekend.
I decided to look back at that transcript before this press conference just to read through sort of, I didn't catch, I was hoping I could get you on something, I didn't catch anything, but you did mention that part of the appeal of racing in the series was competing with guys that you had competed with in the past, growing up, going up the ranks. What is it like now to be challenging for a championship with them?
I don't know if I'm challenging for a championship, but I'm trying just to go.
Challenging for wins anyway.
Yeah, there we go. No, it's cool. There's so many people that I grew up racing against. This guy, one of them. But
I was there.
He was there. But no, it's cool. I mean, it's always nice to see when the kind of ladder system works, and kids that you grew up racing against, you end up being professionals with. Some are good, some are bad. You know, there's some where you have like this childhood rivalry that you just like can't shake, and you like grow up the whole ranks racing again. Luckily that wasn't me, but I know other drivers that have been through that. But honestly, it's just fun. I mean, I'm racing with with a smile on my face, which you know, not every person can wake up in the morning and kind of be really happy to go to work, regardless of the environment. So I'm just looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully we can rebound well after Texas and go from there.
Joined also by your teammate James Hinchcliffe. A significant racetrack for James because it was his first time back in IndyCar after his crash in 2015. But James, we're a few years removed from that. We don't have to revisit all of that. But your thoughts heading into this weekend and the competitiveness of your car and the team for this weekend's race?
Yeah, I mean, this place has always been one of my favorites. You know, I got my first kind of like open wheel race win here back in the Formula BMW, and all the way up till, you know, like you say, getting back into an IndyCar for the first time after the accident. And I was gutted when I got to IndyCar and we didn't race at Road America, so I was very excited when they finally announced that we were coming back. This is, as Robbie said, I think a lot of the drivers' favorite road course in the country, and it's always nice getting to rip an IndyCar around this place. And we were here testing last week, which was, I think, great for the team, and the test went fairly well for us, which makes us a little bit nervous because so far this year we've had some like abysmal tests that turned into really good race weekends. This was a pretty good test, so we're not exactly sure how this is going to go. We're hoping that doesn't necessarily. Yeah, it's going to go one of two ways. It's going to go really, really well. But no, it was good to get to test here, and you know, the car's been solid the last few weekends, and hopefully we can spread home some more good points.
For both of you, this season has been quite a grind so far with an early 3 back-to-back races heading straight into May in Detroit and Texas. Nothing new really, but you are coming off of the first off weekend in quite a while. Did either of you get to do anything fun, relaxing, get to regroup a little bit, maybe a lot of work?
We were testing here on Wednesday, and then I went to New York Thursday for IndyCar, and then I went to Toronto Friday for IndyCar. So thanks for my weekend off, guys. Robbie?
I just wanted to give you an area to vent.
I had a good week at the gym. It was nice. And then Saturday, Sunday, I hung some curtains and some light fixtures at my house. It was quite the domestic weekend.
And some honeydews.
Yeah.
As always. We'll start with questions, Bruce, and you'll have to shout out your question.
Is this track the closest track in America to Mosport in terms of the look, the feel, the rhythm?
I would have thought like Road Atlanta would have been closer to Motorsport than this one.
Because
Kind of more flowy corners, slightly more elevation in corners.
Plus, it doesn't have a lot of lock straights,
Yeah.
which this place obviously has a few.
But yeah, I mean, I never really thought about that, to be honest.
but just what about like the terrain and everything? It seems, you know, they're both very
foresty.
picturesque.
Yeah. No, I mean, they're two entirely different tracks. I wouldn't really compare them. I wouldn't put them in the same group personally.
But the scenery's nice in both.
Tony?
Hinchcliffe, you've had a couple weekends now working with Will, the new race engineer. How's he been like to work with now you two go on?
Yeah, I mean, having Will step up to the race engineer role has been great. You know, coming into the season, I had exactly 0 people on my stand from 2017 or any other year of my career. And so, having worked with Will for a bunch of years as assistant race engineer, it's nice to kind of have that familiar face on the stand. And we already speak the same language. We know how each other works. And so, it's kind of made that transition a little bit easier. Obviously, it's never ideal to have to do that mid-season, but I think he slipped into the role very nicely. And you know, he had a couple races under his belt with Jack, and I think him and I are working very well together, so it's been pretty productive so far.
Dave?
Robert, people might look and go, okay, this guy's an overnight sensation, 10 or 15 years in the making, right? Is that kind of how it's been? It was this long, say long wait to get here, this wait to get here, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're running competitively.
Well, to be honest, I never waited to get here. that was
Was it a conscious choice?
Yeah, that was the big thing. I mean, obviously, as a kid, I grew up watching Indy cars and loved racing Indy cars, but my career went to Europe at a pretty young age, pursuing Formula One, and then got approached by Mercedes to race in the DTM, German touring cars. And you know, I was never always hoping for an IndyCar opportunity. I was honestly completely content where I was. But then situations changed, and I had to look for kind of some new avenues to go racing. And IndyCar was my top prospect. It's what I wanted to do the most this season. Given the new aero kits, given IndyCar, I feel like it's always on the rise, and other championships are starting to struggle a bit. So I think the timing was right, and happy to be part of it. And even more, I'm happy that the results are coming in the first year.
Mary? And then Chris?
Robbie, when you came and filled in for the team last year here on Friday, was there any knowledge at the time that you were going to be like, I don't know if you call it a free agent for the next season? Was that part of your decision to come in and drive for Schmidt Peterson? Did you know?
When was the race here last year? Like same time?
Yeah, same time. So,
The next week you found out?
Yeah, it was in July. So, yeah, let's just say at this time last year, I was just doing it for the fun of driving a car, and Mercedes let me potentially participate in the full race weekend. And it wasn't really around the Toronto weekend was when I kind of first thought about like talking to teams and kind of seeing what I could do. But yeah, this time last year, it was IndyCar wasn't really on my horizon. It was more just to tick off a bucket list.
Chris?
Robert, the last time you ran here was in a race was back in Florida, Atlantic. Do you feel like you're on the back foot a little bit compared to everybody else having 2 years of experience running around here?
No, because I mean, there's
Were you in Phoenix?
because there's
You've never been on an oval, never mind Phoenix.
I mean, there's also
Really
tracks.
weren't.
There's also tracks that they've been driving on for like 10 years, 8 years, whatever. So two, I
St.
think.
Pete, qualified on pole.
I think two's an advantage for me. But honestly, it was nice to test here last week. You know, the plan is to start at the front, race at the front, finish at the front, right? So I don't think, you know, not having race experience on this track, you know, if I follow my game plan, I won't really have to pass anyone. So.
Steve?
Rob, you're halfway through your first IndyCar season. What's been the biggest surprise?
The schedule. The schedule has been very, very intense. You know, I think I realized that racing in DTM was almost a part-time job. No, it's just been busy. You know, I mean, the schedule I knew was going to be, 3 weeks in a row, and then the whole month of May, and back into like more racing, and I was excited for that. But I didn't take into account the extra marketing days, a lot of testing. In DTM, we didn't have any in-season testing. So it was just, you think years ago, I have at least Monday to Thursday off, and it's like, no, you have to do it here, there, and back off, and you have a one off weekend, and the team knows you have an off weekend, so they cram in a bunch of stuff for you to do. But it's all been fun. I mean, I can't believe, actually, once we finished Detroit, I saw someone tweet that 9 down, 8 to go. I'm just like, what? Like, how do we already passed halfway to this thing? I thought we were still like in the first quarter of the year. So that was kind of a reality check. So it was, it's been a fast season. I mean, it's crazy to think that it's already almost the end of June, but it's all been pretty exciting.
Bruce.
The intent with this aero package is less topside downforce, more mechanical, so that you can get closer to each other. A track this size, are you able to get close to each other? Do you think it'll be a different style of racing than what we saw the last 2 years?
Weirdly, this track is probably going to be the most similar to 2017, just because with the old kit, we would come here at a very low downforce configuration. So, last year's kit at low downforce is comparable to this year's kit at, maybe not max, but a normal trim level. So I don't think it's actually going to be, I don't think we're going to notice the difference as much here, even just in the feel from behind the wheel. It'll be interesting to see what the racing's like. Everywhere we've been, the car's been able to follow closer, so you'd like to think that that's going to hold true here, but again, we're just not sure because it is kind of the closest configuration to what we've had in the past.
Other questions, Dave?
James, can you kind of characterize what role you played in getting Robert here?
We convoyed up together. Is that? Oh, you don't, okay, you mean like we're really here, okay. Honestly,
He was my mole.
I was his spy on the inside. For me, I had obviously a huge interest in Rob coming to the team, so I was a huge advocate for it very early on. I was one of the few guys, myself and Pierce Phillips, were the ones that had followed Robbie's career all through Europe, knew what he was capable of, and we were the ones that kind of put our foot down and said, this is the guy we got to take a look at. Once his name was on everybody else's radar within the team, I kind of tried to sit back, and what I didn't want to happen was I didn't want people to think that I was just trying to get my buddy in the seat. I laid out all the facts, and if you looked at everything on paper, the facts were this was the best available guy in the world for this car. And I kind of wanted them to figure that out on their own rather than just kind of hammer it in. But yeah, occasionally had to, throw in a little comment here or there to make sure things were staying on track and going the way that we wanted. But it was honestly, once they looked into what he was and what he was capable of, I think the decision was pretty simple from everyone's point of view on this side.
Presumably fairly rewarding that he's backed up everything that you said?
Yeah, it's really fun saying I told you so.
Any other questions? Guys, thank you very much. Good luck this
The
weekend.
best brats are in church hall.
You're wrong.